Thanks, Joel. Now, as the world celebrates a Global Entrepreneurship Week, a number of black-owned businesses in South Africa still struggle to secure funding. During Global Entrepreneurship Week, people from various countries come together through local, national and global events to create solutions for worldwide economic growth. Entrepreneurs are individuals who start a business, taking a financial risk in the hope of profit. However, many black entrepreneurs are frustrated when it comes to securing funds to either get their businesses off the ground or take them to new heights. One such entrepreneur is Zithande Mbala, and he joins us in studio to tell us more. Zithande, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Sis.
All righty, let's start with right at the beginning. How did you know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur and start your own thing?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting story because I studied BCom accounting at UJ. Of course, when we were growing up, we were told that when you're a chartered accountant, you're going to be very rich and all this. But I wanted more, you know, because one realizes that, you know, the highest thing you get is a chartered accountant. Usually you become an employee and get to work for somebody. But that was not enough for me. I wanted to work for myself, and so I can be part of creating jobs and solving the problem of inequality in South Africa. So the best option for me would have been to be an industrialist, because in an industrialist you get to employ many people and create products, and products are very powerful. And I began to appreciate the power of products as I grew along. That, you know, when you make products, you actually participate directly in the growth of the economy, because the measure of the growth is set in the GDP, is gross domestic products. So there's got to be products that are manufactured locally. If we can do that, we can do more of that, then we can create more jobs and solve the problem of poverty and inequality. And
right in the intro, I spoke about funding. Are those some of the challenges that you faced in this journey? Absolutely.
You know, our first invention is the smart toilet paper. So we created a product that's unique in the market because we saw a need that if you use a dry toilet paper as a fact, it doesn't make us clean. So we had to come up with something that can be used dry or wet. Or toilet paper is smart in the sense that it can be used wet. When you make it wet, it's like you're using a wet towel that you can flush. So that was a game changer for us. But now the challenge you have, you have an idea, great, and there's an opportunity in the market. No one is doing it. But now, what's the next step to get funding? You need at least $1 million to get it started, or to get your idea out of your head into a prototype that you can now start protecting and manufacturing and making a product. So that was a very serious hurdle, and I just completed my articles at the time. No money in the bank, but we needed $1 million. So only one place to get funds in this country if it's an idea. At the time, it was sitting with the IDC, the Industrial Development Corporation of South Africa, based in Sandton. So we had to go there to secure the first round of funding. And because our invention was great, there was no doubt that they were going to fund us. And we secured the first $1 million rands to start developing. And it's been quite an exciting journey since then, because we are now trading in the stores. We eventually got listed at different retail stores locally. We got a listing at Pick and Pay. We've got Spar, and in Zambia we got ShopRite, and then in the US we've got Home Depot. And our product is doing pretty well in the market, and we're pretty excited about the journey, and we're grateful to the people of South Africa for supporting it. You know, the industry at Pick and Pay alone, for example, it's measured at about $1 billion per year. Right. So if you were to play very well, and you can take that whole thing to yourself, it's a question of how much support do the people give you and how much funding you get at the end of the day. Because if you were to serve 1,000 people, you need just a low budget. If you're serving 1 million people, then you need heavy capital to do that. But the nice and the good news is that there is no shortage of funding in South Africa. You may have seen the IDC coming to SABC to advertise that people must come and get funded. That should tell you there is enough money. And if I can just give you a little task, if you go on Google, for example, maybe just punch my name, Zithande Mbala. Then you scroll all the way down. There is a part there, a link that is shared, must have been shared by the IGC. It says businesses funded by the IGC, disclosure of businesses funded by the IGC.
Yeah.
That was during the period of, it must have been April 2018 up to September, roundabout. So the interesting part there is the fact that if you get there, you will see a list of transactions that took place during that period. We're also one of them. So the first transaction is 1 billion per company, just to show you there is funding.
For businesses, yeah.
Exactly. Then you get to the next one, maybe 60,000, 40,000, 40 million, what am I saying? 40 million, 200 million, 300 million. You can get that much, but it's a question of from what point do you start and at what level you are at. If you start, for example, if you look at us there's about 2 million, but the next guy below us is getting 70 million, etc. like that. So what I'm trying to say is that funding is available, and for you to get funded is a very simple equation.
Yeah.
You need a product and the market.
Wait, before we even go there, I want to talk about the product because we're running out of time.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about the product. What have you got there next to you?
So basically we have a smart toilet paper.
Okay.
That's a smart toilet paper. It can be used dry or wet.
Okay.
So when you make it wet, it's like you're using a wet towel.
All right.
But now the question, how do you make it wet? If you're living in a traditional South African home, you don't need a dispenser to make it wet. You can use a tap. It's usually the reachable position where you're sitting.
Okay.
Or you can use a tub, as long as you have access to water. Otherwise, if it's too far, then that's when you need a dispenser, a water dispenser. That's what we got here.
Okay.
This way you put your water, excuse me. And you just, this also works perfectly.
This would go on top of, in the bathroom.
Next to the toilet paper.
Next to the toilet, okay.
Absolutely. So you can put this, it works perfectly in an office environment where you don't have a tap inside.
Okay.
So these ones go there.
And these ones you would just need water.
Just we put water on it, Like literally make your toilet paper wet before you use it.
Yeah.
You know, a normal toilet paper, when you make it wet, it crumbles and it falls apart. It's a mess. This one is smart. It doesn't do that. It's like you're using silk, and it's biodegradable, and it's safe to flush. For the first few seconds of wetting it is literally like a wet towel. It's a game changer, and if you got a child and you can't afford wet wipes, there you go. You've got a perfect solution right there.
Yeah.
But it's you know, think about it. We've got a product that can go worldwide because most part of the world use toilet paper. And this is the next level of toilet paper. It's like the gold of toilet paper. That's what we pride ourselves about.
In that, all right. All right. Zithande, thank you so much for coming through. You know, when the conversation is good, time runs out. But thank you so much for coming through, talking to us. Such an interesting product that he has there for us. He's an entrepreneur, Zithande Mbala, talking to us about global entrepreneurship and challenges faced by black business owners, but as well as the product that he has in store. He said earlier that it's available at Spa 2.